So, first of all, to those of you who make it all the way to the end of my rambling 10-minute long videos, just know I appreciate you. Sometimes I feel I'm a little long winded, but I don't know. I got a lot to say. So, what has led me to this very spot? At age 50, I did not think that this is where I would end up being. Being a, commentator on politics and world events. And it's interesting because I just recently had an anniversary. 3 years ago was when I got sick. March 5th, I was in the hospital. March 18th was the day I had my emergency surgery where my intestines ruptured and I was septic and I was in the hospital and some really crazy things happened. I get asked, I have been asked, a few questions, and, I get asked a lot, was it scary? I get asked, did it hurt? And I get asked, why don't I seem mad? And, here's the thing. Was it scary? No, I was never scared. I was never scared throughout the whole thing. When I got admitted into the hospital from the emergency room, they told me what was going to happen. That I had issues going on with my intestines and antibiotics. I had diverticulitis, and they were putting me on IV antibiotics and admitting me to the hospital. But they also told me that if the antibiotics didn't work, that it was serious. And a couple of days after I got admitted into the hospital, I aspirated in my sleep and I ended up in ICU, and I was unconscious in ICU for 10 days. And then they woke me up, and I had a guy in my face, and it was my surgeon, Dr. Roxon, basically saying that I needed to sign some paperwork to authorize surgery or else I wouldn't make it past an hour. And I was so out of it. And then I had the surgery, woke up in ICU a couple of days later. And, everything for the 9 weeks I was in the hospital was all just a blur. I knew in my mind I was sick, and I knew it was serious, but I was just so doped up on hydromorph dilaudid, which is an incredibly strong opiate. I just didn't have time or the consciousness to be scared. It was just a matter of just surviving. But it's funny because people asked and have said to me, "Oh, you must be so strong." And there was no strength involved. I had a great medical team behind me, and it wasn't my time to go. Right? It's not like I ever woke up in the hospital going, "Gosh, I'm going to fight this and live to see another day." It was nothing like that. So was I scared? No, I wasn't scared. Throughout this whole journey that I've been on, I've never been scared. Did it hurt? Does it hurt? Yes. It hurt a lot. 95 staples from my sternum down to my groin. You got to understand that my intestines ruptured, right? So they removed my large intestines, but literal poop was inside my abdomen. So they had to clean me out. They had to do whatever it is that they did. I was in surgery for 7 hours. It was a long surgery, and I had two surgeons working on me. One to deal with my kidneys because they were failing while I was on the operating room table, and then Dr. Roxon, who was dealing with everything else. So, they had to take all my guts out, clean me up, put me back together again. And they didn't put me back together in the same way that I was created. So, yeah, I have a lot of pain, and it hurts all the time. And I've had complications. I had 3 major surgeries in 3 years, 95 staples each time, incision in the same time. All my abdominal muscles have been shredded, cut numerous times. I've had a hernia the size of a cauliflower head. I had a lot of things, right? And I still, to this day, have a lot of things. I have another bunch of tests that I'm waiting to get done, called on by my surgeon because it really hurts for me to eat. It feels like hot irons are being stabbed into my guts. So I'm going to have another sigmoidoscopy done and an endoscopy done. So a camera each end of me, see what's going on, right? I've been tested for cancer, And yeah, so I mean, I got things happening, and it hurts. It hurts every day. And that's one of the reasons why I can't work anymore. Is it just hurts a lot, and it kind of sucks. You know, I am 50 years old, and my life in the snap of a finger changed, and I'm just after 3 years finally to the point where I'm at peace with it, if you could say at peace. But yeah, it's just one of those things where you never know. And the thing about the sepsis that I had is I had abdominal sepsis, which is the worst sepsis that a person can get. My immune system has been compromised. Like, I've had a fingernail infection get bad enough that I had to go to a doctor and get antibiotics, right? Um, the prognosis for abdominal sepsis is after remission, 65% of people within 5 years are dead, and that number jumps up to like 90%, 87%, 90% after 10 years. And it's because my body took everything that it took to fight the sepsis. I was on vancomycin for 6 weeks. And that's the nuclear bomb of antibiotics. It kills everything, and it really does a number on you. It's one of those things where it's hard. It was really hard, and it is hard. And that's, I think, one of the biggest issues that I have, that I'm dealing with, is that, you know. But I carry on, and that's all I can do, right? As for why I'm not more angry, I don't know. Karma is a bitch. I haven't done. I've done some things in my life that I guess you could look upon and go, that's questionable, right? I'm not going to discuss that here, but yeah, just things in my life. But nah. Aside from that, no. When I woke up after my surgery and I realized that my life had changed forever, I didn't have time to be angry. Like I said, I was too busy to fight just staying alive, and or not fight, I guess I didn't really fight, just managing to stay alive, that I didn't have time to be angry. And then with my mom dying and getting evicted and losing my business, like, I just had everything happen at once. And I was just in shock for such a long period of time. And by the time the shock wore off, and with the help of my medical team and my mental health professionals and everything, thank God I live in Canada and I have these resources available. Plus, I had the social safety net behind me, to be, on AISH and everything like that. I'm very thankful. And it's hard to be mad and angry when you have things and blessings that you can count on. I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. I've had encounters with what I would call God in my life. And yeah, it's kind of been a calming force. And anger is an emotion that just doesn't really serve a purpose. Where does it get you? Being angry doesn't change the fact my life is what it is. It doesn't change the fact that I am living in subsidized housing in a studio apartment in downtown of my city, and right across the road is, our local drug problem and stuff, right? Being angry doesn't change any of that. But I just don't see a lot of need in it. So anyway, that's kind of what led me into where I'm at. And I just created a TikTok and a Threads, just thought I needed a place to vent my thoughts and ideas. And lo and behold, there's over almost 1,100 of you here on TikTok who have decided to follow me. So I will keep doing what I do, and I think this election coming up here in Canada is very important, and we got a lot of work that we need to do. On that note, I hope you all take care of each other.